We're back with more on our top story this hour. New York Attorney General Letitia James indicted on federal bank fraud charges. Just weeks after President Trump publicly called on the Attorney General to prosecute James and several other foes in what we are now learning was meant to be sent as a private message. That's according to an administration official who told NBC News the president thought he had sent the message directly to Pam Bondi. Well, now Democratic attorneys general from all across the country are slamming the indictment, calling it a weaponization of the DOJ. Joining us now is one of them, New Jersey's Attorney General Matthew Platkin, who's worked closely with AG James on a number of issues. Attorney General, thanks for being here. You are, again, one of this group of attorneys general backing James in this moment, but talking specifically about what's in this indictment. What issues do you see?
Well, look, this indictment is a sham. It's the crossing of a red line. It's a president ordering an attorney general and apparently a lackey to punish his political opponents. You know, the federal government never brings these types of cases, and they certainly don't bring them against political opponents who they have publicly called scum and corrupt and said they're, quote, guilty of something. And when he couldn't find anyone with a serious law enforcement background to do the work, again, he brought a lackey in to do it themselves.
We are seeing Republicans argue that it was James who did political prosecutions. This from New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. James, quote, illegally weaponized her office to conduct a political witch hunt against Democrats, political opponents, most notably President Donald J. Trump. Again, that is a statement from Elise Stefanik. She goes on to call the charges specific and damning. What do you say to the argument, essentially, that James used her office for political revenge first?
That investigation was a multi-year investigation handled by career and seasoned lawyers and investigators in her office. It received in court, she was successful. The Trump organization and his family has a right to appeal it. What they cannot do is take the criminal justice system of this nation and say, because you sued me for something that courts have held me liable for, I'm going to indict you on bogus charges. And for Elise Stefanik and everyone else to defend this and say supposedly they're concerned about weaponization, but it's okay to have an indictment signed by one person who has never prosecuted a case, not a single career prosecutor would sign their name to it. I've indicted a lot of cases as Attorney General. I have never signed an indictment without any career prosecutors joining me, and nor would I, for a very simple reason. That's not how the rule of law works.
Well, and the other thing that we know has gotten potentially under the president's skin involving James is that she and other Democratic attorneys general have challenged this administration now dozens of times beyond the civil suits. How much of a thorn has she been in Trump's side now that he's back in the White House?
I've worked very closely with Tish James for years. I've worked with her very closely on the suits that you're referencing. She's not trying to be a thorn in Trump's side. She's trying to fight for the people of New York and for the rule of law. That's what she does every day. And that's what we all do. And you know what? We've been overwhelmingly successful in these lawsuits because this administration has routinely violated the law and hurt our residents, gutting education funding, gutting law enforcement funding, gutting health care, threatening people's rights, rewriting the Constitution, flagrantly illegal acts. And all she has done is stood up for their rights and for the rule of law, the same way I have and many of our colleagues have. That in a democratic system does not get you indicted.
New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin, thank you so much for making time for us. Appreciate the conversation.
Thanks for having me.